going to either dry out or you're going to have very weak hair. So the protein gives you strength, and the hair is mostly composed of protein. So the protein gives you strength and the moisture gives you hydration. So you have this hair that has great elasticity when it's balanced, and it feels good and it looks shiny. So whenever someone says their hair is dry, then they're not balanced. And that's what the first thing you want to do. You want to work with them on, number one, this is something that I think more are getting back to, but that was just missing for a period of time, and that's deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is crucial because raising the temperature of the hair shaft about 60 degrees allows optimum penetration of the conditioner, so it does its work. So it begins to balance the protein and moisture level. So you have hydrated and strong hair. The other thing is daily. You need to use moistures daily because what happens, a percentage of it will dissipate, and another percentage of it is going to be used by the hair. And if your hair is dehydrated, you're going to have a problem with it drying out before the end of the day. You also have to have clean products. And clean products are products that are not so dense that they don't break down well in water. So you have these very dense, and this is something we really have to be careful with. And I'm always in the lab trying to find a way to get products that are very clean. And that just means when water hits it, it starts to break down, it shampoos away easily, and there's no problem. But with natural hair and the natural hair community, there's so many products that are used that are very, very dense. And then there's products that are used that are hydrating the hair while it's trying to clean it. Very problematic. So yeah, that's going to cause the problems with dehydration. There's so much to learn, and that's why I believe the school will help, because if you can educate a stylist the proper way while they're in school, then they'll do better as they go out into the world and start their practice. And they can educate their clients. Yeah. So that's a long answer to a short question, but I think it's just so much to be said as it relates to that, because there's so many folks out there doing some really bad things and wrong things. So Anya, did you have a question?
Well, I received a question, and the question was texturizer versus relaxers. Is it the same thing?
I know, that's a really good question. And relaxers and texturizers are basically the same chemical. A texturizer is the technique. And I think that marketing, a lot of this hype has been surrounding that, and so many folks, just like with hair color with the natural, so many folks with natural hair are like, since they're running from relaxers and they're afraid of them, they really desire to have something that's going to give their hair manageability. So they say they've been told by their stylists or individuals, or the commercials are just sounding with half-truths in there, that, oh, we can do this natural relaxer, natural texturizer. Well, it's the technique of relaxing the hair. When the hair is naturally kinky, then you have this curl pattern that's slight, medium, or extreme degree of kinkiness. When it's relaxed, then it removes a certain amount of the kinkiness from the hair. You should never remove 100%, but at a straight relaxer, you're going to get close to 90. So you're going to be somewhere between 80–85% of the curl pattern being removed. With a texturizer, you remove a whole lot less. You may remove 40 or 50% of it, and sometimes less. You're softening the curl pattern, and you're just removing it before it becomes straight.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's just a technique, but it's the same chemical. So that's the difference, and so often people are confused and they believe, oh, I just have a texturizer. I said, well, you have a relaxer. It's just a technique of relaxing the hair. That's all a texturizer is. Again, a long answer to a short question. And I do that because I really want to make sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, because so often individuals who get these answers, it's short and they're just vague, and they leave scratching their head wondering, well, wait a minute, well, what does she really mean? So I tend to over answer. I do. But I want to make sure that those of you who are just tuning in, and if you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Lisa Akbari, and as I said, I am your hair doctor tonight. I know you're accustomed to the phone lines being open and getting your questions in, but tonight I have some very special guests from the Cosmetology Institute, and they're talking about the upcoming natural hair class and the open house that's going to be on October the 11th, which is this Saturday, and the class starts October the 29th. And so we want to invite you out to the Cosmetology Institute. I'll be there. I'll be there to answer any questions you have and let you know that I can still be your hair doctor. But I want you to meet Sylvester, Humbert, and Anya Parker, so that they can answer questions as it relates to the Cosmetology Institute and the Trichology Institute and whatever we do there. So anytime our house is open, we want to make sure that everyone knows, especially my studio or my audience, my viewing audience. So today we're just answering questions about natural hair. So if you're thinking about becoming a natural hair stylist, if you have natural hair and you wanted to ask a question and you're not going to be able to attend on Saturday, please email me at lisa@lisaakbari.com, and that's LISA@LISAAKBARI.com. So again, thank you both for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
We have a little more time, but is there anything you'd like to say about your course, about your experience? You said this is your second year. Tell me what your experience was like that first class.
Okay. Well, the first class was very exciting. We had 5 students this first time, and so it was a small class, very intimate. They were able to ask me many questions. I think that this class is really good because not only if you want to become a professional, but you have a lot of women that have kids that don't know how to manage their natural hair.
Oh, that's true.
So this course is so short, and not only that, you're learning to do your child's hair, and if you want it to become a career, you have that opportunity available also. And you also have a lot of stylists that do not know how to manage natural hair.
Absolutely.
And it's so short. You know, you can get this license and ride the wave because it is going on. Natural hair is here to stay. It's a lifestyle for me, and I'm just glad to be natural and be a part of it.
Yeah, that's great.
And one of the things that I loved about the course itself, they have a part of the course that's called the theater, where they actually learn throughout the training process that in the styling technique that you use and the way you carry yourself and the way you see and view your salon, you must treat this as a theater.
Absolutely.
It's very important that you remember that everything that you do, your performance, the way you handle your customers or your clients is crucial, be it natural or relaxed. The way you handle them, the way you deliver, the type of techniques that you use, the way you carry yourself. There's such a wealth of information that the individual gets in this short period of time that I find absolutely fascinating about the course itself.
And I'm so glad that you brought up the theater, because that was one of the pieces that I thought was so crucial. Because what happens, you have the salon life and so many, I get so many emails about unprofessionalism in salons and how long they have to wait and how they're treated. So one of the things within our program they learn, which is in my company overall, is called the NICE, and that's nice. N for need, I for invite, C for care, and E for enjoy or experience. So that's really, really important. And so in the theater, they have to make sure that they follow those steps. And it's really a part of the program that we're going to look at really hard at this particular session, because we really want to make sure that the students leave there with this, not only knowing how to be a healthy natural hair stylist, but they also will learn how to be a professional.
Absolutely.
A professional,
Yes.
somebody that everyone will want to hire, and it will be easier for them to build a clientele. And as Anya said, they'll learn how to take care of their own children. That's absolutely. Because I've actually had individuals to come up to me and said, you know, I want to come and I want to go to school because I want to learn about my own hair and my daughter's hair. So that is absolutely true. And I didn't think about that until you mentioned that. So these are all really great things. And I just wanted to kind of talk about the things that made our program unique. And you mentioned it, the theater. That's huge because so often, again, the unprofessionalism is there. The salon floor is the theater.
It is.
That's where the people who come into the salon, your clients, they're your audience. And where you work is your stage. And that's crucial. And then, of course, we have the back room where you prep yourself, which is your dressing room.
Exactly.
And what you do with your hands is your performance. So that's our theater concept.
Love
and so
it.
I'm really
Love
excited. And Sylvester, that's his area because he can help groom these individuals so that they can do some other things. But in our last 2 minutes, I do want to say this because I don't think either one of you saw the new information that was just released today about the program, had an opportunity to view it. I know it's in your email box, but we're going to do platform artistry as well. That's something we're adding to the actual program.
Excellent.
I think it's crucial. We wouldn't have been able to really do it without Sylvester joining the team. So now that he's on the team, he can help us because platform artistry is very, very important. Being able to go out and demonstrate not only to other professionals, but to consumers.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do a lot of that. We have about a minute left. I want to first thank both of you for coming out. Like I said, I'm really excited about this program. I'm excited to be involved because normally I'm in my institute and I'm working with analysis and stuck in my office, but being able to come out to do this show is wonderful. And I just want to thank you, Anya.
All right, thank you too.
And thank you, Sylvester, for joining us.
It's my honor. Thank you.
And they'll be back, no worries. And next time, guys, I will have my phone lines, I hope. Well, it depends on what we're going to talk about because I know you guys are learning. But this is it. You know who I serve. To God be the glory in Jesus. Thank you so much for coming out. And I will see you next time right here on Ask the Hair Doctor on cable tonight. I'm Lisa Akbari, your host, and I'll see you next time. Have a blessed and wonderful evening and rest of your week. Thank you.